Good morning from Sweden. I hope you are well. So this is today's I Ching reading, and today we have the 27th of January 2026, and we're coming to right at the end, just a few more days of January, and then we're into February. So times is flying, so that's 1/12 of the year already through. Okay, so things have gone off on a rocky start. However, it is changing into something more earthy, more solid, more nourishing, as we are shifting into this new cycle of our life. Okay, so if you are getting benefit from these videos, please like and subscribe. Okay, so let's first bring ourselves into this present moment by emptying your lungs out completely, just getting rid of stale energy, stale air, and then breathe in through the nose into the stomach, and then out through the nose. Allowing the stomach to expand and contract with each breath in and out. And it's expanding all the way around the back and the sides. You can feel the breath traveling up along the spine, allowing the spine to move slightly. It's almost like it is an inclination of rising with each breath in, sinking into your seat with each breath out. Focusing on your breath in and your breath out. And now start thinking, how does this hexagram want to move me today? Also bring in a question if you've got a question, right, in your mind. Now remember, this is not prediction in any way, but it's a guidance of the energies, right? So what are the energies like today, and how can we best navigate them? But if you've got a specific situation in mind, please bring that into now. How can you be best guided through this time in your life? So I'm just going to shuffle a little bit. It's very noisy as I move the coins around, so I'm just doing it a little bit. So we're doing the inner gua first. So heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. So we've got fire. So fire. And fire below, and it's got two yang, one yin. So there's a fire burning bright within us, and that's the base, that's the inner gua. And then let's do the outer. How does this hexagram want to move me today? What are the energies around us, and how do we best navigate them, please? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. Fire. So we got fire over fire, which is brilliance. So this is one of the primary guas because they are, It's one of the primary hexagrams because it's got 2 of the same gua, so it's a double. So it's the Li and Li, and then let's find out where we are exactly in the energy of this particular hexagram. And then what we're moving into. Right at the top. So we got yin turning into yang. So this one we've got thunder over fire. Okay, so a lot of activity. Thunder over fire. So we got then Li, and here I just got this feeling of warning, actually, to be careful, take careful steps, okay? Keep your head low. I don't know why that came to me, but that came to me. So, and then we look at the inner, which is yin, yang, yang, yin, yang, yang. And then we got yang, yang, yin. And remember the nourishing we had, not yesterday, but the day before, I think. And that was the opposite. We had 2 yang and then all yin. So that's the flip of that one. So here we got lake, Dui. And here we got wind. So wind, lake over wind, so water over wind. So lake is water. So we've got lots of action going on here. Lake, water over wind, right? So that's coming in, which is not here. It's the approach goa, gua, and the or the hidden. But let's have a look. So the number 1, the main energy now is Li. I can't remember which number it is, but it's number 30 is Brilliance, I think it's called 29. So brightness. It's called brightness. That's what it is. It's like lots of fires brings brightness. And then the second one is thunder over fire. Thunder over fire, which is 55. And coming in, hiding is Dewey Lake over wind, which is 28. 28. So let's have a look at 28 first, because we're so close to it. In the pages here, great exceeding. Okay, we had that before. Okay, great exceeding. Oh no, we had little exceeding actually. Great exceeding is underneath, and that's like get lots of, it feels like pressure actually. And then number 55, which is abundance. We're moving into abundance. Great exceeding underneath, moving into abundance. And these are two, look at this, two little bushes or like a grain or something on a cauldron here. So we've got lots of food coming in. So that's good, actually. Abundance. So let's go to the main energy of today, which is brightness. That's number 30. And of course, that's fire. And it's Li, and fire. Actually interesting to see what 29 is. Metal is 28. That's cutting. It's the emotion of grief. So there's like an underlying emotion of grief. And 55, which is wood. So it's very, lots of energy, different types of, 3 different elements today. Abundance, wood, which growth, right? Which is all about growth, wood. But wood, when it's out of balance, it's you've got a lot of anger and frustration within you. And I can this come up throughout the readings as well. And when we're going through really tough times, it's so easy to become angry and frustrated. And this is what we need to transmute into forgiveness and acceptance of the situation. Because nothing helps with us walking around being angry. The only person, when we're walking silently angry, or even if we're lashing out to people, the person we're hurting the most is ourselves, unless we're being abusive, right? Then we're hurting other people as well. But obviously, most of us, when we become angry, we just keep it within, and that is doing really not anything good with our body or mind. And then to transmute this, you need to transmute it into forgiveness and acceptance. And that's the ultimate letting go, right? This is the situation I am in right now. I can do something about it, but sometimes when it takes a long time to get out of something that is not very good, we become frustrated. And then also, so then we become angry and frustrated, but nothing is going to help because that clouds our mind. So my suggestion is doing what we did right at the beginning. Breathe into your stomach. And then bring all the rising emotions. It quite often leads to like tightness in the shoulders and neck, because there's all these thoughts and this anger and everything's just rising up. And this is what we've got happening here. The great exceeding is just rising up because of all this anger and frustration within us, because of the situation that we've been put in, that we are currently in, okay? Which is difficult to get out of not being heard. Nobody's listening, although we are seeing clearly, but a lot of people are just under the veil of illusion. And this is how abusive people can maintain, because people don't see the true what they're really doing, because they're being manipulated and lied to, okay? And then the people who sees what's going on, and the reports are usually the ones that then end up being abused, even by the good people, because the good people are not believing the reporter, because the bad person, or the one who's causing all the trouble, is so good at manipulating, okay? And this leads to anger and frustration to the person who actually ends up being the one that looks like the bad one, although they are the ones that are being abused. This is what's going on in the world right now, all out in the world with Trump and Putin, and all here in Sweden as well, with our political party with Jimmie Åkesson in the lead. I think they got it in the UK with Farage and all that. And then it's all over the place at the moment. Those are the energy. And of course, it's very close to us as well as going on. And if you are not in this situation, you feel like you are the one who's being targeted, look around you and see if somebody, really look at what's going on, okay? Maybe you end up being the one, you are the one who has, without actually wanting to, but it might end up being abusive, supporting somebody who's manipulative and not very good. right? Really examine people's intentions. Very important to look. Just because it looks shiny on the outside doesn't mean that it is shiny on the inside. It could be very rotten. Okay, so brightness. So brightness is illumination, right? When it's very bright, we can see clearly. We can see what's going on. So this is what we need. We need to like illuminate what's going on in our life. What is true and what is not true, okay? So there's something that you're not seeing clearly. Let's see. Here, Li also means to leave, to part from, to be away from, but in ancient time it is also mean to attach. This is why the orderly sequence of the Gua refers to attaching. Okay, so that's interesting. Attach, but that is like, yeah, those two are the opposite forces, right? And they often go hand in hand. We're very attached to something we really need to leave. And many times we're trying to leave something that we are attached, that we should be attached to because of fear, right? Being hurt or many other reasons why we leave situations that maybe that we shouldn't. So let's have a look at the ideograph. The left half of this ideograph is an ancient animal called Li. The right half is an ancient bird with bright yellow feathers called Zui. So that's an ancient bird. Oh, look at that. It's a beak, it's a head, and that's the wing. And this is an animal of some sort. It's got the horns here, I think, and that's the face fronting. So in this ideograph, the left side gives the sound of the character Li, while the right provides the meaning. The ancient picked the bright colors of the bird to signify the character Li. Thus, Li symbolizes brightness. That is not its literal meaning. It is associated with fire, the sun, and the most young energy. In this basis, I use brightness for the name of this Gua. Complications, such as this, and the need to know the history and changing meanings of each word and character. So this is the last Gua hexagram in the upper canon, and the upper canon is all about heaven and earth, bringing heaven down to earth, and bringing sentient beings and life down to earth. It's the creation, ultimate creation. Okay, and the Gua before here is called darkness. And darkness, I think, might be the primary as well. Yeah, it's water and water. So it's the opposite. So water and water, darkness and fire, which is brightness. And these are opposing powers. And water, it's the darkness of the water. And that speaks about distinguishing between what is true and what is right and what is evil, what's truth and what's kind, or what's evil, like what is right and what is incorrect behavior. While brightness is to illuminate, to see, to see what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. So this is all about your attitude. No, it's all about illuminating what is true, okay? We need to see what is true and actually come from a truthful and sincere heart before we make any movement, okay? It also speaks about how we've come out of danger, or this is actually when you are in a dangerous situation, you really need to be able to look closely at the situation before you move forward. You cannot live from emotion. You need to act from logic and really pinpoint the situation, okay? So this is all about illumination. So I think this is what I've got the feeling that it's something we need to be careful at the moment. It's like a warning. Really look at the situation so you don't get yourself in trouble, okay? Illuminate. And then make sure you're not the one who become inappropriate, right? You remain steadfast and upright, very important. And do not let your emotions spill out and hurt people around you, okay? You need to get rid of the source of the problem, but don't let the others around that become harmed as well, okay? You need to lovingly look after people around you at the same time as you are getting rid of the source of the problem. However, slow steps, small steps, and really not until you see clearly shall you make a move. Although this is a gua of a great action, right? Because there's a lot of fire, but it's more about illuminating, it's about seeing. It's that kind of fire. Lots of light, we can see clearly, okay? So let's look at actually, let's read the decision. Brightness, favorable to be steadfast and upright, prosperous and smooth, raise a cow, good fortune. Yeah. So brightness, favorable to steadfast and upright, remain truthfully you, prosper, then it will be prosperous and smooth, okay? But you need to look carefully. Raise a cow, good fortune. So if you are, I think it says something more here. It's like raising a cow, it brings good fortune. Yeah, if you raise a cow, if you've got a little calf and you raise a cow, it's going to bring you milk and all sorts of things. So that brings you goodness, okay? But raising a cow takes a while. It doesn't go overnight. So you need to have some patience as well. And here, commentary on the decision. Brightness, it means to be attached. The sun and moon attached to heaven, grains and plants attached to earth. Okay, yes, the sun and moon are attached to heaven. And the sun and the moon are being represented by Li and darkness. So brilliance and darkness. So brilliance, which is this hexagram, is the sun, and darkness, which is the previous one, is the moon. Grains and plants attached to earth. So double brightness attached to what is correct, thus all under heaven are transformed. The yielding attached to the central and correct places. For this reason, there is prosperity and smoothness. It is like raising a cow, it brings good fortune. And here brightness is doubled, an image of the brightness of the sun. In correspondence with this, a great person continuously radiates brilliant virtue and deeds all over the world. So yeah, this is, you need to be your best self. We have this, we've gone through a lot of time, so there's anger and frustration underneath, but we need to transmute this into acceptance and forgiveness and then move forward, okay? Although you might not be able to do something about the situation at the moment, but you need to remain steadfast and upright and be truthfully you, okay? And it might be difficult at time, so then cut away your anger, okay? Remain peaceful like the Dalai Lama. Let's have a look at the top 9. The changing line here. The king engages in launching an expedition. There is decree. Kill the leader, capture the followers, no fault. The king engages in launching an expedition, bring rectification to the country. Yeah. So what this means, kill the leader. It's like the source of the problem you need to get rid of. There shouldn't be like everyone around shouldn't be harmed by this as well. So you shouldn't just lash out indistinguishably. So you need to get rid of the source of the problem. However, first look carefully. Okay, 9 at the top is the uppermost place of the gua. It reaches the peak of brightness. Eventually, 1 at this place become mature. A parable is used to explain the meaning of this gua, which says that 1 at this place should be able to see clearly the whole situation of one's realm like a king. He is firm and strong, but kind and gentle, able to undertake an expedition to bring light to the country. The 1 in this place should also cultivate his virtues and wisdoms of a superior person. Kill the leader, capture the followers is the key line of this gua. This is to say that one should deal with the root of the problem, not the minor problems. Yes. This principle is used in cultivating one's own virtue and practicing in daily life. Then there will be no fault. Okay. So I think you should get into meditation and actually look at the situation. What is really going on. So let's have a look before moving forward. Okay, we need to bring brightness. So it's no, that's 55 abundance. Let's have abundance. Okay. Those who find a home surely will reap abundance. Thus, after the marrying maiden, abundance follows. Let's just go to the decision. Abundance, prosperous and smooth. So this will lead into abundance. The king reaches this point. Be like the sun at noon. Yeah, which is Li, right? You need to be brilliant. You need to be an inspiration. Don't be the darkness. And don't be the wet blanket. Don't be the one who brings everyone down, okay? You need to be the radiating sun in this situation. Okay, abundance, it denotes greatness. Brilliance with motion, hence abundance. The king reaches this point. He values abundance and greatness. Do not worry, be like the sun at noon. One should radiate his light on earth. When the sun reaches its heights, declining begins. When the moon attains its fullest, waning starts. The waxing and waning of heaven and earth accord with the course of time. How much more true is this to humans? How much more true is this of spirits and God? This is the truth of everything, right? The waxing and waning, and the seasons, how everything changes. Everything changes, right? The situation you are in now is going to change. But at the moment, we're at the point where we can actually really shine. We have lots of this energy, and it's very important that we do. And we shine by being truthfully us and being kind, yet strong, right? We're speaking of the king here. The king is not some little weak person in this context, of course. We're talking about the King Wen here, I'm thinking. So he was a good, kind-hearted leader. So in this case, the king is great. Like, he's using all his wisdom to look after the people, cutting away whatever, like a tyrant or somebody who's oppressing the people, but he looks after the people, okay? So a king is strong, yet kind-hearted. Like a true king is strong, yet kind-hearted. So you are the king, okay? And then, so you need to shine your light onto people around you. And here we're coming to the image. So you've got thunder and lightning. So thunder and lightning come together, an image of abundance. In correspondence with this, the superior person decides lawsuits with clarity and carries out punishment with exactness. Yeah, and in this case, yeah, look at what is justice, right? What is true and what is not true. What is absolute justice, right? And then from there, seeing what is correct and what is not correct, like from there, you take action. So you end up punishing what needs punishing and not somebody else who is just standing, being like a bystander. You don't want to harm them, okay? So, and then we've got 28, which is like an underlying, bubbling. So yeah, this is the great exceeding. So there's a lot going on at the moment, okay? Da is great, Gua is exceeding. So the previous Gua, which is number 27, is the nourishing, which we had a few days ago. And I was speaking about that, so it's the opposite. So we've got the yang lines at the top and bottom, and then yin line in between. And here we've got yin at top and bottom, and then yang in between. So here we've got a person standing above, taking extraordinary action. And do you know what? So we're back to this one. We've been here before, and it's about taking extraordinary action. And sometimes extraordinary action might be something that goes against, like where somebody's being not very nice to us or whatever, you know, it's like being terrible. It could be somebody who's abusive, but you become the, I'm not saying in an abusive relationship, somebody beats you up, you know, leave, right? But maybe in a situation where somebody's not being very nice to you, but you take the upper road, I don't think, or the middle road, or you are, despite this, you're not lashing out or being angry, you are actually being kind to this person, okay? And that could be taking extraordinary action. Obviously, if you're in an abusive relationship or a situation, then get out. That's what you need to do. You need to gather people around you to get out. Very important, okay? That is no time to or remain kind. Don't make the situation worse than it is, but in whichever way, yes, keep yourself safe, very important, but get out in that case. But if it's just a situation where people are not being very nice, right, then you are taking extraordinary action by remaining peaceful and calm and kind, your kind self, okay? Or you might need to take just some great steps forward. Here we go. The lake rises over the tree. So in this case, so here's the, so this zun could be wind or could be wood as well. So of course, here it is. So it's, in this case, it is the wood because you got lake, and I can feel, yeah, so the lake, the wood is in the lake with the roots deep in it. Okay, so the lake rises over the tree, an image of great exceeding. In correspondence with this, the superior person stands alone without fear and withdraws from the world with no depression. And we had this theme yesterday as well of being independent. That we don't need anyone to approve of us, okay? You are just fantastic the way you are. And sometimes we stand alone, and that's fine as well. So at the moment we're in a situation it feels like we don't have very many friends around us. Although we might have lots of friends, but maybe the people in power are not being very supportive. Or we do have a lot of people around us who don't wish us well, okay? But that's okay. A superior person stands alone without fear, and withdraw from the world without depression. So we don't need necessarily to have people to, we don't need people to approve of us, okay? You are perfect just the way you are. Very important. So illuminate, the takeaway from this, illuminate this situation, really bring light to the situation, see what's truly going on. And then from there you can take extraordinary action. And extraordinary action might mean that you have to do something that goes against what you'd like to do. You might want to scream at that person, but instead you choose kindness, right? And acceptance. And this is what Wood is speaking about, very much so. At the moment, the king is actually you are to shine your light. Despite the situation, shine your light and stay firm and strong. Strong boundaries is absolutely fine. You should have that, of course. Don't let people walk all over you. You are like the king, the brilliant king, who's ruling with great wisdom and are making sure that if you need to take action to remove something from your life, you make sure that it is whatever is toxic, and don't allow it to harm anything or anyone around it who are not part of it, okay? And many times, especially when you're in a situation where there's a great manipulator around, right? That person, he or she might will use manipulation, it will manipulate people around it. And these are just become that person's puppets, right? So they are not evil. So we don't want to lash out to them because they're also as much victims in this. Although they become, because of the ignorance and not being able to see clearly, because they're not making sure they are seeing clearly, they're just following blindly, and not actually judging the situation, but they are not the ones to be harmed, right? We want to remove the essence of the toxicity, but we can't do that without actually shining a light on it. But remain like the wise king, lead with a kind hand and inspire by your brilliance. Always. Okay. This is the reading for today. I hope it was of benefit. And if you feel like it resonated, please like and subscribe. If you like, I would love to see you back here. And also, if you'd like to comment, I would love to hear what's going on in your life and how this does resonate. Okay, I'm wishing you a beautiful day ahead, and thank you for today, and see you tomorrow.